Thank you, Paul. Thanks to all of you for coming today. It shows your dedication to the arts and wanting to learn maybe something new or learn what other people are doing in different types of the arts up and down the state. And I just think it's great that you're here. Thank you to the staff members of the Delaware Division of the Arts, who once again have put on a BOFO summit. It's wonderful. And special thanks to Kristen Pleasanton, the Deputy Director of the division, who was chair of this event. I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about what the State Arts Council does with the hope that maybe some of you would be inspired to sign up for it. You have to know that it's going to take a long time. You go online, you fill out a form, and it might be a year, it might be 2 years. But if you are interested in serving, we always like to have good people like you in the pipeline. Among the things we do, as Paul said, we're an advisory board of 16. We support the division. We serve on and lead grants panels, which I consider one of our most important tasks. We do site visits. We attend performances to provide critiques that help panel members make funding decisions. We have a representative on ArtCo. We participate in programs like Poetry Out Loud, and we attend regional and national programs to help us with our work. We advocate for the arts. We coordinate with the Delaware Arts Alliance, etc. There are several of the council members here. I hope you've gotten to meet some of them. They're wearing purple ribbons. So that's my pitch for the council. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today. We've enjoyed meeting her at the table. She's just a delight. Lily Yeh is an internationally celebrated artist whose work has taken her to communities throughout the world. As founder and executive director of the Village of Arts and Humanities in North Philadelphia from 1968 to 2004, she helped create a national model of community building through the arts. In 2002, Lily pursued her work internationally, founding Barefoot Artists to bring the transformative power of art to impoverished communities around the globe. What a noble endeavor. Welcome, Lily.
I just feel so honored to be here and to be in Delaware and to see this kind of dedication, enthusiasm, and fine arts performances this morning. And I feel greatly honored and humbled in your presence. And since my work is very process-oriented and organic, so I think the best is to tell my story through the slides. And the message is really anybody can do it, and we all need to do it. Okay, so maybe can we have the lights down? And you don't need to see me really, you just need to see slides, right? Okay. So I just want to, yes, thank you. Yeah, especially those. Yeah, the bright light, yeah. The top light, okay. So anyway, I just want to say that I really did the community building by default. I didn't intend to, I didn't know how, but I wanted to create something. So the opportunity came in 1986. I was invited by Arthur Hall, who the late Arthur Hall, who was very talented and African-American dance ensemble choreographer and so forth. So he's situated right in inner city North Philadelphia. And he said that I have an abandoned lot next to my building, and would you come and do a little art park for us? So at that time, there are 10 houses next to his abandoned lot. So it's a little lot. I had no experience in building anything at all. But I said, oh, no, it's only a little lot, and why not? And so I didn't think too much, and I just say yes. And then when Council on the Arts. So when the money came, I asked for $5,000, $2,500 came. But even at that, I was so surprised. I said, wow, I have no idea to do this, and I got money to do this. Now, what do I do? And then so I went to talk to all the experts, and I said, wow, you know, I got this little grant, I have to do this abandoned lot, and by the way, it's like 10 more, you know, not one lot, but 11 lots. And so how do I start? And then they say, you're a woman, you're outsiders, you don't have money, kids going to destroy everything you build, and you should just, it's a drop in the bucket, and you should just withdraw. You know, write a feasibility study and then withdraw. I said, wow, that's a good idea. Expert advice, right? So, and as I was writing the letter about how situation changed, and the little voice in me said that if you don't rise to the occasion, the best of you will die, and the rest will not amount to anything. So I was kind of scared of that voice. I said, well, I don't want to, years down the line, see myself in the mirror and saw a coward there. So, and I said, okay, I really don't know how to do it, but maybe with the children, we can start something. So when I went in, this is very typical in inner city, abandonment and depletion of resources and whatever. And then I could convince one adult, Jojo, who is wearing the baseball hat. He lived in a kind of a little bit renovated, abandoned house. And then the funny thing was that he heard that there's this crazy woman on the street looking for him. So he ran away from me twice. But the third time, he was tying his shoelaces. And then I said, Jojo. So I shared with him, I said, you know, there's nothing here. Why don't we do it in our park? So he bought into the vision. And because of him, children came. And because he was a strong man in the neighborhood, he's always angry and roaring like a lion and big eyes staring and knives and hammers and so forth, no gun at that time. And then years later, I realized the reason why he was so angry, because the world was trying to kill his manhood. And he was always trying to defend his manhood. And the kids, the little boys, adore him. So they came, and at the beginning, we were just poking around. And the kids came, wow, looks like you're having fun. Can we join you? I was a little shrewd. I had all the spade and broom and all the things the little children like, and so they became my crew. And so sometime homeless people passing by and would come and help us. Jojo is good in masonry. That's my first mosaic team. From 3.5 to 13-year-old, yeah. So we recycled the materials, and I didn't know what really about park building, urban design, none of that. But I want to pursue something that is meaningful for me. I want my life count. And so simple, you know, and authenticity in my work. So I went there and I tried 2 times and major failures. But then in 1990, 4 years into the project, I raised enough money and I was able to do a project. And this is the first transformation of the project. What you see is only 60%. 40% are the transformation process that we do not see, but it has a rippling effect in the community. For example, when I was painting the mural, and in the project, on 17th floor, people would come, girl, we like your color, you better do quick. And one night, Jojo, his brother, and a bunch of men, and I was painting and trying to get the last bit of sunset. And so I was painting there. And suddenly I heard some gentle sound, singing, kind of rippling through the place. And I looked back, and there were 6 men, and they were standing next to each other, and then they were swaying like that, singing. But not to me. They were singing to the moon. And it transformed the place, and it was like an African continent. And then I realized that to create something together and beauty that is soothing and bring hope, and people felt happy. And so then I begin to understand the power of art in transforming the places. And you saw Jojo in the middle, a child in the center, and art is trying to find her own voice. And then Big Man drift in. Big Man is 6'8", huge. He was called Big Man for a darker reason. He was selling drug and using drug for 20 years. He had no place to go. He came to Jojo for refuge. He thought that he would die in the gutter someplace. So desperate was his life. And then I'm an artist. I try to make something, and I needed help for people to do mosaics. He lost everything, but he has the time. So piece by piece, even with severe pain, he suffered every day. But the creating beauty would get him up and making Angel Alley. This is the Angel Alley we created together. And this certainly doesn't belong to any religion, but it is an expression. It's an expression of our aspiration and inspiration, and of our soul and of our heart. And so Big Man said that the trouble is that I left the drug, and no problem. He became addicted to mosaics. And then because he was using drugs, it so devastated his life. And after he rehabbed himself through making art, creating beauty, people start to say, you're not you're a bad person, but say, oh, you make this beautiful for me, for us, for the community. We love it. Those positive feedbacks are like gentle rain that softened, moistured his parched heart. And he felt good. So after he rehabbed himself, he started to organize NAA meetings for 10, 12 years and helping thousands of people to get the foothold of their own life. And then people always say that, how do you reach out to a community? And how do you get people to come and help you? And I said, wow, I don't know how to do that, but I know how to set traps, right? Traps. You first get the children trapped, right? And then because we worked with the children, imagine a Chinese woman and teaching at the university, and coming here and do work. I mean, that sets people very suspicious. But I didn't try to convince people. I just worked with the children. And children get happy, and that's how we gained the trust of the adults. Now look at my team. All of them had drug problems. And I say, wow, that's not address the negative. And that's go to our strength. That's not say what we cannot do where we failed, but that's say what we can do and we can succeed. So together, and we get expert. None of us know much, but sometimes that is an advantage because you can get the best advisors to help you, construction people and so forth. And then so we built a wall that's perfect. But one afternoon, I remember looking at the wall, so perfect. We overbuilt the foundation. We can build several stories high. And everything was technically correct, but we didn't have the hump yet. And I said, well, something wrong with this space. It is so secular, so mundane. I don't feel moved by it. And that's when I say, wow, we have all the broken stones. Why don't we recycle it? And then we bring beauty. And that's when I feel this is before, and this is after. And that's when music enter art into the space. And then I call it I call it Meditation Park. And I want people who come here who can retreat, reflect, reconnect, and recenter. Because I feel life in the ghetto is very difficult, full of conflict, full of minds. That's why I did the angel. If we are not careful, and we will get into drugs, we get in violence, and we get locked up in prison. And so I created those images in order to protect our community. And then since I don't have a lot of technical expertise, or I don't have wealth, and what I do, I can bring to the community are the things that inspired me, like Chinese gardens, Islamic courtyard. And then then when we work together, each one of us are broken. But when we work together, then we become very powerful, like centipede that goes so fast. And so we begin to take on houses. North Philadelphia has a lot of abandoned houses, and drug-addicted residents and so forth. We usually think, wow, this is really bad place. Let's get out of here. Then we miss an opportunity because there are a lot of hidden resources. It depends on our imagination to look at it and to be able to transform it. So now that's our team. Not only we made those gardens, we renovate houses. And so this is before and this is after. So I designed it, Big Man executed 16 years collaboration from somebody who never had the art, didn't think he had the chance. And because of him, the whole neighborhood began to change. And the abandoned lot and into our parks and gardens. And this is in quite a few, within 10 block area, we were able, and this is only what's visible because we also do education, we do theater, to people's story, we acted out on theater and so forth. So here is another abandoned lot and a transformation. And then we are blessed with yet another one. And then this transformation. Our best assets are completely open to the community. And we do give it protection. What are the protection? Is engage people participation. Get people who want to destroy our parks, be our work person. And then also we protect it by beauty. And then we start to incorporate children's works, people's aspirations. And this is an industrial land of GE, about maybe near 2 acres, okay, but highly polluted. And so we turned it with community effort, with City Year and so forth, America Year, America something. So we turned thank you. Yeah. So anyway, we start to plant trees, and we grow tree seedlings for many different places in the city. But without art, it won't be us. And look at this. I just give suggestions. This is Big Man and his 4 crew members, formerly drug users, and to never have art, but look at the things they created. So we guard this with mosaic, with art. And it's so funny, one time I went to the village and I saw a bus full of tourists come to safari in our neighborhood. And then sometimes nature blesses us with snow, and that just transformed the bad land into the land of enchantment. And that's I learn everything I take to the world from the broken land, broken community of North Philadelphia. The world tells us that you are poor, you're color, you're not educated, you live in North Philadelphia, you don't really count, okay? And I guess from my immigrant experience, and I just say, well, that we refuse to be defined by the others. Let's clear the table, and let's look at ourselves, and let's define ourselves. And so we make ourselves beautiful. We look at ourselves, we find ourselves attractive and talented, and we make such big puppets so 2-story high, and we dare to march down our street, and we bless every household. Some of the households are so poor, but we bless them, and each child would offer a basket of fruits and to the family, and we all together say, may the good spirit bless this neighborhood. May the good spirit bless this household, and may the good spirit bless all the children. And we have confettis and scream, and we become so happy. By the way, Mayor Rendell, by the way, you know, he came and he blessed our abandoned lot and abandoned houses everywhere, and hope there will be the renewal. And then, I think I did some, oh, right, okay. So, and that's the ritual. So you might say that, wow, it seems so silly. What's all that blessing will do? Profound, profound. What it does is that you create goodwill. Instead of hostility, instead of negativity, instead of say, this is no good, that is no good, we say, look at ourselves. We're beautiful. Our community has hope of transformation. And that is the software that will bring gentleness and kindness among in our human relationship. Like praying flags in Tibet. We are praying wheels in Tibet. And then the pivotal point of our annual our annual festival is the rites of passage. Well, we have seen all the killings of the teens, black teens, and so forth. At that time, I felt the most vulnerable population in our group are the teens, especially young men. And so I said, when they graduate from high school, when they come to age, how do we tell them that we still are there with you? And so we created this ritual. And this is where you will see a broken space can be transformed into a beautiful space. And the beautiful space can be transformed into a sanctified space. And we clean the garden, we light the incense and water, bless it. And then so in the meditation part, and all the teens, they prepare themselves in the white gowns, they write their words and pledges and so forth. They march in with a torch in hand. They mount the platform. And all the communities, their friends and parents come. And we say our pledges to the teens. We will be your foundation, continue to be your foundation. And we stand by you. And the teens, and they will say that we respect you and we will work hard. We will realize our potential and bring the light into the future. Then the ritual, in a way, made me realize what kind of artist I am. Because I believe that all of us has that power of creativity. We are born with that divine gift. But a lot of times we're told, you're not good, you're not talented, you cannot create. Every time when you think of that, you're doing yourself a disservice. We have the divine gift in us. All of us have it, and it's like sunlight. The quality is the same. And I say our world is so full of problems and darkness. How do we, not enough just artists, we have to awaken the creativity in all of us and the goodwill in all of us to light thousands and upon on thousands of light. That's how we can dispel the darkness in our world. And that's our rites of passage. So after 18 years, I think Village became a model of the power of art in reshaping and transform the land and the people and the family and community. And I basically am artist. I want to be at the front line of creativity. And so I left the Village. By the way, Village is under really wonderful guardianship and leadership right now, so we're blessed. But I create another organization called Barefoot Artists. I wear shoes all the time, but it's like a barefoot doctor. They go to places where people are disenfranchised. Thank you. Small person needs some fuel. So, and then the logo, it just says that it's bringing beauty to broken places in the world. So, Barefoot Artists. And then I want to show this project because our schools are in trouble. So many, you see it on the paper all the time. So I experimented with this, but it's in China, outside of Beijing. And even though China is now, it's so rich in certain factors, but there are majorities are very, very poor, especially the migrant. Look at the school. This is the school. And the school is for migrant children who have no chance to go to middle school in Beijing. So the principal heard my presentation about the Village. He said, why don't you come and help us with the school? So I said, yeah, I can help you with the school. The only thing is that I don't do just art. I want the art, the transforming of the art. I want the whole school participate, and through that empower each individual. Okay, so I call it the Dandelion Transformation Project. So those are classrooms. People live there. Imagine such a small place. 670 people, teacher, students, staff, live there and study there 24 hours a day. Okay, so they manage. So everything is cement, cement, cement. And I said, nothing can blossom in such a hard environment. Those are the migrant children. The migrants workers are at the bottom of the society. The children are even lower. So so how do you teach art? I can't teach art. And I say, that's awaken the creativity in the students. So we just do group art. And then also China one child system. Every child is a little emperor or little empress in the family. How do you get them to work together? Well, get them to paint together, right? So they do themselves. Well, it's a big messy thing, but sometimes mess is good when it's highly disciplined. Look how happy the students are. So I am from 1,000 miles away coming to this cement environment, and I have no idea what to design for them. And sometimes it's good you have no idea, because then you can go to the people and ask them. And always children are my guardians. And I said, what would you like to see? And here is their response, okay? They want green. They want nature, and they want colors, and they want patterns. I said, okay, I got it. So we start. And I also want to root them in this world, age of migrant. Where can we root ourselves so we are not always blown away by wind, right? So I said Chinese folk art, okay, they are familiar with, and so forth. So I used this as the first, look at this Chinese artist. She is so poor. She lived in a cave, for real. This is in Henan province, with one window. But she's so defined. Look at the tree of life. And not only she's connected to creativity, and her flowers blossoms like the sun. It rotates like the star. I say, let that be our guiding principle. So I designed the first mural, the dandelion tree of life. And then so everybody who are interested can come up and paint. And so that's the participation of the students. And that's the first mural color begin to come into the school. And so I would make some design based, and this is the site. And we have students from, they have 12 classes, and so every class participated. So everybody learned the art mosaic, and this is the transformation. And this is the front of the school. And that's the beginning, the transformation. Again, it's with the participation of many different people. Some people engage more, some people less, but it's impact the whole, whole school. And so the school building, yes, this is the school building. Looks very ordinary, an abandoned factory, okay? And I said, well, we don't have to abide to this. And so I took the pictures, and then I gave it to students. And I said, well, if you're going to design, and what will you come up with? I was so surprised. The process was all described in my book. Just a simple act of shooting the pictures of the school building and entrusted to students to design. Just that simple thing get the students so excited. In the feedback, they say, well, we only think established artists, trained artists, people like Lily Ye can design our school. Now, she's asking us to design. I am so excited. I must give it my best. And so, look at one of the designs. He's so daring and just made the rainbow. I said, wow, this is good. Let's do it. Right. And so that was February 1st, one of the coldest days, but we could come, retirees, teachers, and students in school, we all get up and painted. And painting with color is pure magical, okay? And this is where we start to reshape. We put the undulating line, which is like water, rain, and mountain, and makes it something dead to move. That's my buddy. She's so happy up there. And here, and what was so interesting, right. So every time you come in and out of the building, you feel you are blessed by the color of the rainbows. And the school is really interesting. The words, logo here, it says that to be self-confident, to enjoy community living, to search for truth and creativity. Those are the four words on top. And then there's a 爱买天下 means let love fill heaven and earth. Isn't that a wonderful school? So this, okay. What I feel most proud of was when people, their creativity were awakened, then they try to find ways to solve their own problems. So the teacher came to me, and then they say, well, we like your tree of life. It is so full of color and so forth. But what we're stuck with are a lot of problems. And so one day, they just got together, had the brainstorm. And then they just listed all the problems, the root cause of the problems, like smoking, especially new students, smoking, drinking, cursing, fighting, and group fighting. Okay, so they just listed all the root problems and its manifestation and its result. The teacher came together and they created the tree of problems. And so they say, wow, Then they took what they're finding to every class. They spent 1 month. And each class created the tree of problems. They defined their problems. And then they created their tree of life. What is the solution to their problems? So you can see each class. And so they synthesize it. So it says that tree of problems, tree of lives. If you are to choose, which one will you choose? So this is at the school entrance gallery. Then they spent 1 day to have a exhibition. So all the students see, look at each other's creation. And they have a little ritual. They have a 20-foot long table. And then they said, we take pledges against uncivilized behavior, like for group fighting and cursing and so forth. And so they all signed their name as their pledge. And they perform, they have testimony. And so after this 1-month exercise, and the school said that they kept track record, and the rest of the semester, 70% behavior problems dropping. Now imagine, so art into society. Well, the book signing is about this. If you're interested, this is fine because this project is small enough, 5-year project. So I was able to document the steps, every step. Why do I make certain decision, and why methodology and so forth. And I would like to maybe at the end, so I don't say too much. Okay. Oh, yeah, and I created in the book also, because many people ask me, how do you do this community transformation, school transformation? So I created Tree of Life methodology. Okay, that's in awakening creativity. And then, yeah, so, and the last part, I just feel it is most, probably emotionally most charged, and that's in Rwanda. And I love the theme of the conference, let's be engaged. And that's what happened, I remember that was in 2004. I was going to Kenya. I have a big project there. And I happened to be in an international conference. And I didn't have Rwanda on my agenda at all. But I heard somebody talking about Rwanda, and 10 years later, after the genocide, and with such profound sorrow, my heart was moved, just like that. And I said, I'm already in the continent, I must go to Rwanda. And I went there. Nobody invited me. The same thing, we were in the international conference. I said, well, I know nobody, but he knows. He talked about it. So I made myself sure, breakfast, lunch, dinner, I sat right next to him. So after a little while, he said, wow, there's this woman tailing me. Yeah. So, and he asked his sponsor, and his sponsor said, why, he's an artist. He's harmless. It's okay. He only had brush and color, in her hand. So that's how I got to Rwanda, by tailing somebody. And when I went to Rwanda, and I was taken to this mass grave, and then neither of us has ever dreamed it became a 10-year involvement. In the 10-year time, a village of 100 families, which has no resources, no income, no education, and most families were killed and whatever, now become a rather thriving village. And where does it begin? When your heart is moved, listen, life is calling. And that's when you say, let's be engaged, right? Okay. So anyway, I have a film, and I would like you to share that. And it's about the genocide memorial park that, no, I'm sorry, where,
It looks like a shed, animal shed, like a very coarse concrete slab, and you can't tell that it was people's remain. The only thing that showed it was a few bouquet of dry flowers. Then I said, it cannot be a grave. You cannot heal by looking at it. Jean Bosco took me to see a couple of other mass graves, and some are better made, but they were all by builders. They're kind of concrete and bricks and put together, and there was no poetry, there was no beauty. I said, to truly honor the dead, we have to bring beauty and to remember them in that light. And so that was the time when I thought it has to be better. And then he also took me to see the survivors' village. And the village is actually deceivingly pleasant. So I said, wow, this is pleasant, until I get a closer look at the people. You just feel, Rwanda is really being defined by before and after. You feel the weight of the killing and the tragedy in their body, in their soul, in their faces. I want to bring art and bring beauty in the building of the monument in order to remember the dead. This is what we do in here. Here, flowers, and then stone. No line. No problem. A space is opened up that we all can come in to bring our creativity, our strength in equal footing. We go there not just to give, but to learn.
Twari mu muryango urimo abantu 134 turokoka turi 4 gusa.
Good. Okay. Cut this. Then you have a triangle. Yeah. Whichever. Right. Okay. This is blue. Yeah.
Wanareba abatuye umudugudu wose ugasanga ari abantu babaye traumatize. Kubera ko twebwe dukora intambara kugira ngo dukomeze kubaho.
Natwe amagufa yacu akaba ari ahantu hagaragara habonye, hatari ahantu h'akantu gateye isoni gateye ingeke. Hari aho bari mu kariya karuri, nk'aho bari batwishe kabiri. Cyane cyane iyo ndi kuri rwa rwibutso numva nishimye cyane, numva ndi kumwe n'abanjye, numva ko ndi kumwe n'abariya nabuze, bikaba ari nabyo bintera kuhakorera isuku bimvuye ku mutima, ahubwo numva ntanataha.
When Jean Bosco told me we need to do the memorial first. Intuitively, I understood it. Because of my father, there was this lifelong knot in my heart I couldn't untie. It feels like I couldn't move on until I really look at it face to face. Then maybe my life can move on. We need to look at the past, especially places that hurt, and then to look at it face to face, and then to open the wound and to dress it. To hear the stories, and then to honor the memory, and then do our best to embrace that, and then to bring to the level of resolve and rest. That's really the reason I moved to the project.
Imana yabikoze no kubabarira byaba kimwe. Tuzajya tubibuka, tubibukira ahantu hagaragara, nicyo byafashijeho, ku buryo ngomba kujya ngenda ngaterana n'abandi, nabyo bigomba kumfasha simbe mu bwigunge.
We see hope. And to end, I just want to share with you the video is from a documentary film called The Barefoot Artist. And so it kind of lists a little bit my life and my work, if you're interested. And a few copies are with the books. And at the end, I just want to read one poem, the responsibility for artists and for us all to take action. And it says the poem, the song, the picture are only water drawn from the well of the people. And it must be given back to them in a cup of beauty that they may drink. And in drinking, understand themselves. And so this is by Garcia Lorca. So thank you so much. Thank you.